Okay, we rigged this character last week, right? So I just did a little bit of cleaning. For example, I rigged all the fingers. So if I say don't show joints, so you see that like fingers are properly rigged. So if I select the fingers like that, from top to down, so you see that I can do some nice animations on them as well. I adjusted the size of all these curves. So you see, I've got adjustments in them. I added a little bit more. If I turn on the joints, I added so last time I added 1 row of joints for the leaves. Now I added 2 rows of the joints for the leaves, basically. So and then if I turn on the spring chain here, if I set it to 1, you will see that we have a nice and gentle, movement on the entire leaves, so it has a more natural movement. So I set that to 0 for now. Okay, so before doing anything, so this is a very, very important advice for everybody. Actually, before me just going through, so I did like nicely adjusted the legs, this one, the other one, so they look like kind of, this is like a proper cool character. So before doing anything, I would like everyone to keep in mind my let me open my blue paper. My referencing, setting up project and referencing. So let me just open a new one. Just basic one. Referencing. First of all, you all should have a Maya project. A project is a set of folders. So you've got a bunch of folders. Actually, there's a mother folder, like a main folder that contains lots of other folders. And so on and so forth. And each folder contains some files, okay? For example, scenes in one folder, textures in another, and so on and so forth. I don't know, like kind of simulations in one of them. So these are, so is it just like some folder structure? Yes and no. The no part is that these folders talk to each other. So there's a like kind of a link between them. So the addresses are relative. What does it mean? It's not absolute. So if you put a texture, this texture connects with a scene here. So if you move the main folder from one place to another, the link between textures and scenes doesn't break. This is very important. So these links don't look at Hussein's hard drive, drive C or E. It looks at what's happening inside of it. So let me just make a folder. So at the moment, I just saved it on my desktop in a temp folder. So I go to my desktop. And here, let me just make I call it project, for example. project. Oh, what's that? And here in Maya, I say, okay, here, project window, and I go make a new project window. So you see that it suggests you some folder naming. I recommend that you keep them all as is. So I just point to that folder on desktop. Inside project. Okay, select the folder. Project name is 3 character or 3. Yeah, 3 character. That's a good thing. So I make a project there. I save this one into my, so you see that when I say file save as, it automatically points at project 3 character and scenes. It just wants me to save this there. So I call this 3. So look at my naming convention. I hope you guys also start adopting a naming convention. Well, asset, I name the asset. I call it rig. And I call it version 1. I can, if you don't know like who's working on what file, I can add like 3 character rig Hossein version 1. Okay. So if I look at the folder that I just said, so there's a 3 character project is made and things are created there. And inside here, I just have only one scene at the moment. However, as I look at my Hypershade, there are a bunch of textures here. If I click on the textures, there are a bunch of textures that I'm going to delete anything unused. So we make sure that we don't have anything extra. So I've got a bunch of textures that these textures also, where is the property editor? I'm going to put, yeah. So these textures are here in Megascan library, blah, blah. So I go and find those textures. So this is wood albedo. Actually, I go and find this folder. This is my Megascan library. I go and find this folder. So these are wood textures. Probably I might need all of these. It's actually, let me grab the root folder, which is says wood. And I move, is it looking at the same folder? Yeah, I grab the main folder and I move it to my project here into the source images folder. That's for my woods. And then it comes, fern, common fern, and it's common fern. So you see that these are all belong to that common fern. I just find that folder as well. So let me delete anything extra so it doesn't create so much confusion. Okay, these are called Atlas. Is it here? So you see that I'm cleaning up my project. So making sure that everything is in place. And I've got this lava man texture as well, which is located. Yeah. So I copy these textures here as well. So I've got, so I have everything regarding this tree man here. However, I have copied them, but I didn't create the link. So let's start with the wood. So I select this link. You see that the link says it is saved in, if I open that, it says in my E drive, it's in Hussein's drive. However, if you just like take away all of this and just say, instead of all of this, you say it's inside source images and enter. Suddenly you see that it doesn't give any error. It didn't break. It just works fine because it looks at the source images folder. So you see that this link, this address has no start. So it just looks at inside this folder, which is very nice. It looks at whatever is inside this 3 character folder. It disregards all of these parts. That's what you want, because sometimes you just carry this folder to send it to your friends and take it to your university. It's on your external hard drive. This is the way that you just keep reconnecting everything. So I just go through and do this for actually the source images. I just paste it for source images. See, that one has broken, so like kind of missed something. Is it back on? Yes, it seems it's back on properly. So if I add something wrong here, for example, here the tree, so I just add something here, and then to make it wrong. So when I press enter, it gives an error that this asset doesn't exist. So you just have to make sure to fix it, and it just gets sorted. So that one is the displacement on this tree stump. What is that? Tree stump. It's not this one. It's another tree. Oh, okay. So probably I haven't moved this tree stump thing. So let's find it first. So there's been some part that I didn't move. Stay with me. This might take a little. So that's our next topic. Stump. Yeah, I'm gonna grab all the tree stump stuff, move it to my project folder, source images, paste it there. And then here, now if I enter again, it should show me an M or tree stump albedo. Got it. Okay, so you see that the M come back. So material tree stump, that one's working. This one Actually, before this, source images. Little bit of cleaning up. One, two. This one, if you remember, I copied the folder called Atlas, so I just paste up to here, and it automatically realizes that. Okay, Lava Man. I have copied a folder called Lava Man. Here as well. You can write a Python script to do all of this, because it's not like a thousand textures. So I just do it manually. Otherwise, like writing a script to automate it is much more convenient. So yeah, everything's set. Just save it. So now this folder is entirely independent. I can move this folder wherever I go, or I want, and nothing breaks, because I have an internal connection to my textures in source images, or to my other elements. You're going to see that I'm going to bring some references here and things. So I did set up my project. Okay, so let's start to say that you're going to start animating this scene. Let me grab an example shot. Do the tracking, grab the tracking, bring it inside. So we were working on this. Maybe that's a very simple shot to track. So you see that I have chosen this part. So at the end of it, I have pressed O. So I'm going to export this as maybe just a PNG sequence is fine. Then the PNG. If not, we save it as EXR. I save it into my temp folder. Call it tracking. And I name it. Let's call this shot 1, for example. Shot 1 pan. And I'm gonna render it. Oh, I forgot to remove that tag on it. Actually, I should just have to turn that off before exporting. So it will confuse, this one will confuse tracking, which I think I can just select that part and say don't track that part. Okay, let's track this. Is it I pressed S at the beginning, and just this is Ultra HD setup, and it's been saved. My test tracking, yeah, it's here. Drag and drop. The color might not match because it is a sRGB color system. It was so here we linearized at the rendering. So now you see that it matches with that. So I add a camera tracking. And this camera tracker, your film back size, this is a Blackmagic 4K camera. I just search for a Magic 4K sensor size. And so here is so now you see that like all the information that I'm talking to you about, like sensor size and things, matters here. So you see that sensor size here is 18.96 multiplied by 10, 18.96, 10, and I don't know the lens. I don't know the, it's a free camera, of course, but I don't know the focal length. But you, for your project, you know it. So for each shot, you know that, for example, for shot 5 or shot 1, it was, I don't know, 22 or 35 or whatever. But I don't know it here. I leave it constant because it's not zooming. So if it was zooming, so then it was unknown varying. Okay. So let's track this. Actually, before tracking this, I can press O on my keyboard and rotate this part away. And can I invert it? There is a button that says invert. Let me see if I press A. Yes, inverted. So that part is missing now. A again. So let's track everything. Oh, still grab something over there. It's okay. Before solving, I delete those trackers. So I just want a quick camera to send like a very quick camera into Maya to show you how to start animating. So while this is tracking, I just want to say that, okay, yeah, my character is ready. So I always like make a folder inside scenes folder. I make a folder called rig, and I always just save the final version, like kind of a very simple name, like 3 characters. That's it. A very simple, clean name inside my rig folder. Okay. Then I make a new scene. So let me just make sure that everything is clean and nice here. So I don't need these guides. I don't need the lights because I will do the lighting in a different scene. So I basically have my 3 character and a rig, right? I just have my models and my rigging setup. Nice and neat. I save it. I start a new Maya scene. I save it as in another folder called animating, for example. Inside animating, I call this 3 character, name of the project, animating shot 1, version 1. Okay. Now, how should I start? So I have the clean project there. So inside here, I need my character, I need my camera to start animating, right? So what I need to do is I just go here. Let me just see if the tracking is. So let me just finish this. So you go here, file, and you go to the create reference. You don't import it. You don't open it. You just reference it. Okay, this is a very, very important topic in in a group activity, not only group, but like or in a project-based work inside Maya. So I grab the rig and reference it. So what you will see here, you get your rig inside with all the textures and everything. It looks like before, but you've got this little diamond next to things. These are references. Okay, what is referencing in Maya? So that was the Maya project. What is Maya referencing? So you have one asset here. At the moment, we have a rig, right? So you have just one asset here. Felix says, did he say anything to me? What's going on? Okay, no, that's another Felix. Sorry. So you have one asset, right? And so let's call it like, instead of let me just don't confuse you. You have one rig and you've got multiple shots. Shot 1, shot 2, shot 3. Okay. Let's say instead of referencing, you import it here, okay? You import here, you start animating right in the, and then import here, you start animating. Right in the middle of animating, you realize, oh, the color of the leaves are wrong. If you fix it for here, it's not fixed here. So you have to fix it again here. You have to fix, just imagine you've got 1,000 files. So instead of importing, you referencing it. What does referencing mean? It keeps the file outside Maya. Here, this file, this character is outside Maya. If I want to delete anything, just look. If I want to delete this, it says, no, you can't do it because it's locked because it's outside Maya. So it's loading it into Maya. So it's load as reference. So it's outside Maya, it loads it into Maya, and then it adds animating on top of it. Animating on top. So if this changes for this and this and this. So let's see how it works in function. Let me just open another Maya. So just imagine that one of you is the animator. So this person that is sitting here animating is the animator. And the other person is the character artist. So the character artist is working on the rig. So okay. So the next time, if you handed the file to this next person and they want to open the file, don't go like this. Don't double click on it in the folder. Don't go and open it. Open it like this. Set the project first. My project is set. My project was here, right? So just select this folder. Actually, just folder is enough, and set it. Okay. Then click open. So if just by clicking open you don't see your project tree, it means that your project is not set. So important. Everyone, set the project. Set project. Then start animating. So here, when I set the project, when I click on the open, it automatically opens the scenes folder. That means my project is set. So I grab the rig because I am the rig artist. And this person, so let me just say, this person is animating, okay? They are right in the middle of animating, and then like the character, the director, or just like they realize, oh my God, these, actually, that's a good thing to realize just now. Okay, we realize a problem. When the head turns, leaves don't turn. That is a big problem. So what we do, I go, so they say, hey, the rig is broken. How are you going to fix it? You say, should I start animating from scratch? No, you don't, because you have used the referencing system, which is, so I go here, I go and fix the rig. So I know that these ones are attached to the leaves, but not the head. So I just select them. Let's fix the rig here. So you see that I am working on two different parts. One person is animating here. The other person is fixing the rig here. This is so rig artist here, animation artist here. Artist. Okay. This file is reference there. So by doing that, I mean that if I fix the issue here, this should automatically reflect the fix. Okay. So let's see if what we claim applies. So these ones need to be unbind, and I should select all the leaves joints plus the head joint. So you realize that I missed the head joint. So I select the head joints, and then I select my, and I skin them back on. So I just make sure that the skin, so I skin them back on. So if I test my skinning here, oh, still not moving the leaves. How come? Okay, I undo everything. Let me see what's the issue here. These ferns are, maybe I need to, if I go to the joints, I probably mean, oh yeah, that's the issue. So it's, I just don't need, I need this joint as well, which is the neck, CC joint, blah, blah. Okay, so now I know what's the issue. So I need to select more joints. So I select all the leaves, then the head, then the neck, and then the root neck. Okay, so now we have reached to the root neck. And then I select my leaves and then skin them back on. So if I select that and then, what's the issue on the leaves? Leaves are rigged and they move with the body. They don't move with the, You know what? I'm gonna do some deep rigging adjustments. If you listen carefully here, you will realize what's the issue. So here the issue is that these joints here, these ones, they need, if I press F here, you see that they are connected to the neck here. So these leaves, these 4, these 8 actually, are connected to neck joints. However, they must be connected to this tip head. So I select them and I then middle click and drag here. So suddenly you see something really strange happening. Did I break the rig? Yes, I think I broke the rig. Okay. Okay, I do another trick after trick. So what I do, I just select them one by one, right click, paint skin weight tool, and then I see that this is impacted by a bunch of leaf joints, and then the neck joint, and then the head joint. Okay, the head joint is 0. I would I need to assign like a lot of head joint. If I assign a lot of head joint here, then this will move with the head, of course. And I can do that for the rest as well. However, what I will lose is if you see here, I will lose the chain spring. So if I select that and then move it, so the top part that is fully assigned to the head, the chain spring doesn't work. Okay, let me think how I can fix this issue. I can, let me just undo until. Okay. Undo until, okay. Okay, head joint has nothing now. What if I say add and add a little bit and then flood on head joints like this? So then if I grab that, if I move, I can move a little bit of head. I can move. Okay, you know what? The easiest thing to do is to rebuild the rig. This is what I do. The issue. I should remove this rig and then like use the guides again to start rebuilding it. But for now, just in case to show you the issue, I go to the paint skin weight tool and I say, hey, head joints, you should have all the weight here, all the weight here, and all the weight here. Okay, Now I'm doing this, just want to show you. Okay, so now you see that the head moves all the leaves. Okay, let's assume that the rig is fixed. The moment I save here, this is saved, right? Here it should be fixed. No, it's not fixed yet because I should go. Here is saved, right? Fixed. Now, if I go to the file reference editor and here say that, hey, can you reload? Actually, I want you to pay attention to this part. Can you reload this? It reloads it and reapplies all the keyframes and everything that everybody was working on. So then it fixed. So it fixed not only for me here, but for whoever. Like, let's assume that 100 other person are working on this character. So that's why referencing is really important in Maya. Never start without referencing. I'm gonna reset. Go to the bind post. So important. Set your project. Then actually I should say then reference the rig, then start animating. Okay, now we are ready to animate in this scene because we have references. Now we only need a camera, so because we're going to use this shot, so we need the camera for this shot. I'm gonna delete this. Okay. I don't know if this would solve nice and neat. Fail to calculate R. Try reducing the keyframe spacing. That's the error. Is actually the error all comes from here. I'm gonna delete these and delete this and delete this. This stupid thing that I did. It's created a lot of errors. Oh yeah, you see that there are errors there too at the end. Just want to start at 1 as well, so it just here says 1 as well. Let's solve it. Oh no, the tracking needs to happen again. How? Okay, for the tracking, auto tracking, I can say there is a mask input source alpha. Yeah, that's the problem. I forgot to. You need to roto then set it as a mask. Yeah, like here, I need to say source alpha. Thanks, Oliver. Track. Yes, I'm gonna reset everything. Now, oh, you see, it's only tracking that part. So what we do, I just say source inverted alpha. Okay. Track. Now you see everything gets tracked except that section which caused the issue. I hope this will work nice and gives us a nice camera. So I'm gonna add the, let's say add that tree monster behind these buildings and like there's a giant walking. Thanks, Oliver. It shows that you are following the lesson as well. Good for you, boy. So tracking is done. Solving still fails. Actually, it fails somewhere at the, oh, that's the reason. So suddenly I've got some other shots frame involved. So I'm gonna go say that basically finishes here. Solving it again. Calculate all the keyframes. Update solve 1550 maybe. Update. Still has a lot of errors. Clear solve. Solve it again. You know what? I think I'm not gonna spend so much time here. You know that it's a bit tricky. You have to spend some time with Zara, and I just get a C+ out of this. And I just want this camera, but like before exporting, I want to make sure that this camera is doing okay. So the camera moves the way as it looks. Yeah, it does some sort of. So this is where I kind of write 3D. I just write the geometry. I just write the camera. Let me just write my scene instead. As just I will write it inside my project basically. So I would get my so I would get my camera inside scenes folder. Tracking camera. Here I make, let's say, shot 1. That's where I want to save this. Shot 1. And over there, I'm gonna file type FBX. Yes. I don't want geometries. I don't want lights. I don't want the point clouds. I only want the camera. So maybe I get the point cloud. You will know why point cloud is important, because that's where I figure out where to position. So if I position my monster here, it just like works fine. So I might get point cloud out. Execute 1 to 50. It's exporting the camera. Can rename temp to final. File exists. Oh, sorry, my bad, because I didn't name the file inside shot file. I have to call shot 1. This is how stupid is Nuke. So I have to shot 1 tracking.fbx. I should do that so that it knows how to write it. Now it's written on the file. Now I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna I can do importing this. It's okay to import camera. So you see that the camera is imported, and a bunch of locators, which are the point clouds. Put all of them in a group and call them camera shot 1, and you will see this is it. So it's just a tiny thing. If you group them and you've enlarged the group, so don't, I always suggest, you know, like usually don't scale your character, scale your universe. So I'm gonna select all my point cloud and actually all of them and make them tiny. So now I select my camera again inside that universe, make it large. So if you look at the point cloud, this is the building. This is the building. This is the back of that basketball court. So this monster is like as big as like some sort of like this, as big as the building. Okay, right? And the monster is behind this court. I've done my positioning here. So let me just change the scale of the camera. So I select all of these scale, right click, break connection, because you know you don't need animating on the scale. So let me just change the size of the camera. So the camera should be still. So this is my camera, looks around. Okay. So if I export my, so this is EXR. Don't bring EXR to Maya, it's too heavy. Just add a right node here. You could just press, instead of me, like you just press W on keyboard and connect it here. And go to your project. And here in the source images, make a folder, or maybe in movies folder. Make a folder called shot 1 plate as well, and then I call it shot 1 plate dot hashtag 3 hashtags, and then like PNG. 8-bit PNG, no alpha, so RGB, so there's no RGBA, we don't need alpha. So we render up to frame 150, okay. It takes a while. Okay, while this is exporting this out, we're ready to animate. Actually, this is 3 character animating shot 1. So we have our camera, we have our creature there. So I think I'm gonna start doing a little bit of positioning here. Let me just hide these and just give you some hints about this rig. So if you grab, let's say this chest, and then if you move it up, this rig has, this M gear has a little bit of elasticity in it, which is fine, which is lovely for cartoon characters. Look at the legs, for example, I can grab and just stretch them a little bit, which is nice for cartoon characters, but not for this 3 character. So if you select the rig, No, rotate this back in place. So you see, because these UIs doesn't come along with it. So here, like for the legs, select them and like maximum stretch, make it 1, so it doesn't stretch at all. Actually, for the spine as well, you can say maximum squash is the 1. Maximum stretch is 1. So that body doesn't squash and stretch. You see, it doesn't squash and stretch. If it was like, let's say, let's go for 4, 5, and then like 1/10. So you could see like I could just do like, and then or just press it like it's very accurate as well because it preserves the volume. So just 1 and 1 here. For the arms, also maximum stretch 1. That one is also 1. So then this leg doesn't stretch extra. You don't see it as extra stretch here. So for the animating the walk cycle, as you know, it's very easy. You just move the top body. Oh, by the way, while this is rendering, so it's very good, and I strongly recommend that you always using a recorded I don't want to say references because you're gonna confuse us. Recorded video. You know, like that's your reference actually. It's the reference, not the Maya reference. I don't know why they call the loading another file within your file without impacting the original file. They call it referencing, but you know, this is just a reference. I think I have some videos somewhere teaching samples for class animating reference. So you see that here is the walk cycle reference. So that looks like my monster walking. So what I can do, I can grab like a part of it in After Effects or Nuke. I would use Nuke, but like here you see that it's busy. My Nuke is busy. So let's use After Effects. Take it here. And again. I'll take it here, make a project with it. Actually, here the project setting is important. It's 25 frames per second. Let's call your project 24 frames per second. And inside Maya, I also have to make sure that my project setting, so here you see that my project setting is, where was the animation? No. Yeah, it's in time slider is 24 frames per second. So that's 24 frames per second. Here I make sure that my project is 24 frames per second. And I just grab maybe from here, I press B. And then that much is enough. In right click here, trim, come to the work area, press Ctrl M. And it just needs a very low quality, not very low quality, but just a medium quality JPEG is enough. Okay, and I'm gonna save it inside my project folder, which was on my desktop for 3-character movies. Again, I call it walking reference. For the name, very important, very, very important. After Effects always saves with name. Let's call it walk cycle. And then underscore, then the padding, then which is 000, and then the extension. But Maya doesn't like the padding. Maya likes dot. So remove the padding and say walk cycle dot your padding. Remove the underscore. Say name dot padding dot JPEG, and then save it. Then render it fast. Oh, that was loud. Sorry. So what you get in your project folder, you get that as like says walk cycle dot 00 JPEG dot 001 JPEG. So all you need is, you know that like this is a 16:9 like aspect ratio. So just create a plane. Tell that it's 16. So this is your plane, right? So you don't need any divisions. So select the divisions and set them to 1. So there's no scale on y, so I set 1 here because it doesn't scale on the y, there's no length. But says, let's imagine 160 by 90. So in general, 16:9, make sure that it's 16:9 ratio. Once you set the ratio, you can scale it up and down like a TV size. So now just give it a surface shader and import the first frame of that image sequence. So you see that it just looks at source image first, but I go say, look at the movies, walking reference, select the first one, press open, and then use image sequence. So when your camera, so when you move forward, kind of like see the reference just within the scene, right? That is slow, man. The reason is EXR files are pretty heavy. So I should have, so I start my work here. So I do another, so this is what I do. I go bring my cameras, select your camera, and say that go through your camera, look through your camera. Actually, I should not. Make sure your camera is, oh, by the way, this is very important. Make sure your camera is entirely locked. Lock. So you see that I cannot move the camera around. So actually, I'm going to hide this as well for now. Now it's time for me to go to the view and then image plane, import image. And here, look at the shot 1 plate, which is inside here, shot 1. So I import the first frame. And if I press Ctrl A, make sure you choose image sequence, okay? So look how nicely this mounted. Actually, it would be nice if you turn on your resolution gate, and so both of these, turn both of them on. So you see that the monster is kind of like existing in that space. So the tracking, even though it was saying that the tracking failed, actually rendering is not finished yet. So you see that it just doesn't look, so the latest frames. So although it was saying that the tracking failed, it's not like 100% accurate. It's like 99% accurate, which is enough for me. So now I just want to like, so just imagine that like the camera moves and I want this monster. Let's see how far is this? I think Maya gone stupid again. This is a bug. I realized we had the issue. How can I get rid of it? So if I select my camera, you see that the image plane is back in the like kind of far away. So you can press Ctrl A and go and find the image plane tab, and it has a depth. So you can say that depth is 20. So it gets closer to you, maybe 30. So I just want to like bring back the plane. This one is reference. As you have realized, the reference is walking the other way around. So I just kind of move this reference high up here. It doesn't interfere with my. So I use two monitors. All the computers at uni, they have also two monitors. Here is how I work. I look through the camera. I go here and so this is the camera's angle. Is the scaling changed? Yeah, I probably need to like push this back on. I go to the panel and I say tear off a copy. So I get one window out of here and push it to my next monitor. So while I'm working on different angles, like perspective and like kind of, but I keep looking at here. I'm looking at how the perspective looks. Sweet. I'm ready. I just start like turning off the point cloud and start positioning my monster here. Actually, I would like to reverse this. So say I hold J on my cube. Oh no, not like that. Actually, you only need to add a minus at the beginning of reverses and moves the other side. So let's imagine that monster is behind the building. So you guys don't see, but this is what's happening here. I'm positioning the monster behind the building, and when the camera moves forward, we see the monster coming. Actually, it would be nice if the monster would be slightly in the back, slightly like that. So when the camera moves, it just starts walking. Okay. I have my reference up there. So this is how you do like a quick walk cycle. So some of you might say animating is hard. No, it's not. Just look how fast I do animate. I want these UIs to be, you can select them and hide them. Can I hide them? Unfortunately, I can't. If I press, is there any visibility somewhere? No, no, I cannot hide them. Anyway, that is not nice. What is this? This is the word control. Yes, yes, I can hide anything. Lucy says, good point, Lucy. It shows that you know Maya well. If I press H on any object, hides. However, the Regear artist. So let's go back to the talk. The Regear artist has actually MGear is like this. Has locked the visibility for this. So if I press H on these, nothing happens. However, if you press Ctrl A and then go to the object display and actually here in the display and just right click here and say unlock. So I'm gonna unlock is this and that, and there was another one here. I unlock that. So now if I unlock it, if I press Ctrl or H on keyboard, you see that it starts functioning. So I have to save my original 3-character rig. So guys, this is a very important file. Have a backup of it, and only the authorized person touches this. And every time that you touch it, like you inform everyone, the rig has been updated. Hey, animators, go to your reference editor, click on your character and reload it. So we have to wait. And I'm gonna save this. So now I've got these 4 UIs, these ones. I can hide them. Thanks, Lucy. So how to animate? Easy. Grab the waist. So look at your reference first. My reference is here. So when I go forward, probably monster starts walking from here, from this frame. So we start kind of so it's just like, look at the leg. Actually, I just want to better to zoom here. It starts from like frame 12 to boom. 40 is one step. 40 to boom. 75 is another step. So 12 to 40, 40 to 75. I'm going to take a note of this. Not that, a new one. 12 to 40, 40 to 75. It's basically, as you see, it's about 30 frames or so, right? It's about 28 frames here, but that one is more than 28 frames. It's even more than 30 frames. So that is 28 frames. And that one is touching. Yeah, it's pretty much like 75 frames. Anyway, we follow that. Okay, so, and if you look at the distance the guy walks is about, yeah, that much of the distance. So grab the waist. It's very easy. Grab the waist and the two. So these are the things that, so first of all, 10, I'm not going to turn on auto key. Auto key is off. So I want to show you how important is just pressing S on keyboard. So I grab the waist and I grab so that's one of the things that we're going to animate. This square. This square that moves everything except the feet. Actually start from frame 12. So one keyframe there. And then we have two leg movement, which are these big boxes. So I select both of them and press S on keyboard as well. So I have, so in other words, if you look at here, I have to keyframe these two and this red one. What is this that I'm looking at? It's M-Gear Synoptic Legacy picker. There are new pickers. I still am using the old ones, but which works fine for me. Okay, so let's go to frame. The first time it touches the ground is at 40, right? Come forward like that much. Maybe start from this leg. So I press S on keyboard. This leg comes forward. And press, that's too much. S on keyboard here. How I realize that it's too much, because you see that it's kind of like so it just kind of slides one leg there. So I want to make sure that at 40, this one has a keyframe. This one has a S on keyboard, the keyframe. This one has a keyframe. Then later on I show you how to make selection sets. So these three are important for you, so make a set. So then we go to frame 75. I'd rather to make it slightly like 72. 75 was a bit like weird for me. I'm gonna go for the next move. One key from here. That other leg goes one key from there. And also, even this one that didn't move, I add a keyframe on it. So two legs, like a sliding, one slide, two slide. Okay. Now you just add a leg up. You just come in the middle, add a kind of movement of the leg up on the floor. Here, maybe I just do a bit of this. Boom. In the middle of here, you want, okay, in the middle of this one, you see that when I added a keyframe on this, which was at frame 26, I should have selected the other one and add a keyframe. Or, okay, let's make your life easier. Just select, press on this one, key all, add a keyframe on everything, make my life easy, leave me alone. So you just, wherever you want to add a keyframe, you just say key all. That's much easier. However, suddenly you will see your graph editor becomes full of keyframes. So I should like add another key all here. Okay, cool. So I've got 2 steps. So that's the body. So, but like here, what about arms? So let me just go to the previous 2 keyframes. I select that one, jump into here, select this arm, and add a keyframe on it. Press S on keyboard, and the other arm, S on keyboard as well. And then I come to the this one. This one, of course, this arm gonna be back. I just tell you that I hold E and my E, like rotation is object rotation. So select, so for W, you can hold W and press your left mouse button and do the same thing. For E, pretty much the same. So if you want to change from Word to, that's one keyframe, and also actually I would say key all. One and 2, which was at frame 72. Just do the flipped arm. Actually, one goes to the front. That one goes to the back. So you see that I try to stay on that keyframe that holds everything. So 72, for example, for me, is a keyframe that contains a lot of information on it. So I don't just go work randomly, just try to just like kind of cluster keyframes. So when I press key all, I don't accidentally add something in between. So this is, you see that like 1 and 2, and so I can copy all of these keyframes and repeat it. Or just create a walk cycle and then add it. So I just let me just show you through the camera. So this is like just bare minimum basic keyframing, right? So you see that like the master is hidden behind. So you imagine that when I render it, I push this behind the building. You know, I cut it off. I use a mask. So the master actually better for me if I go through the camera so you can see. The master walks bang, bang until here. So if I go to the perspective again, okay, so that is but there's no like kind of when some a creature walks like here, you know about this. At the beginning, you know, like the pelvis is down at the keyframe, then the pelvis is going to be up at the keyframe, then the pelvis is going to be down again, okay. Then the pelvis is going to be up again at the keyframe, then the pelvis is going to be down again at the keyframe. So if you just look at it, it just like looks more natural. And if you look at the reference again, let's have a look at the reference. It's not just the pelvis going up. So the pelvis goes down and up. and down. It's the rotation of the upper part of the body as well. So that is important too. So my upper part of the body is this, I believe. Let me see. Yeah. So let's go at the beginning, which is around 12. I add a keyframe here. At this one is towards the direction of, actually, is it? It's towards this direction. I press S on keyboard. My auto key is off intentionally. And then here, when the leg is down, it's basically looking at. Let me walk a bit myself. Give me a second. So when I walk, my yeah, it's quite opposite. It's quite opposite to your body. So basically, when I was walking, oh, let's look at the reference from front. The body rotation is, so when he is towards the feet that touches the ground, and then you see that the body, look at the shoulder, rotates towards, leaning towards this one. So I'm gonna go back from the beginning. So now it should rotate until the part that touches the ground, and then goes up and then moves towards the other part. Look at the walking now. Let me just press on keyboard so it just doesn't keep loading the textures again and again. You see, it just can play back faster. 1, 2. From now on, it's all about adding details. So for example, I really want the fingers. The fingers, you see that they have keyframes, but I don't want them to have keyframes, so I select them. Actually, I should select all the fingers here. Actually, these are this finger. Select left. For this, I make sure that break connection. Select right. I make sure that they don't have any keyframe on it. Select left. So I have selected all the fingers here. I really like a more natural, like kind of hands. So your creature can, while it's moving, like can have the fingers gently kind of moving as well. Actually, better that if I select the thumb, adjust the fingers, so it looks like a little bit punch. Yeah. And then select this, and then this, and then this, and then the thumb. So see that, compare the two fingers. This looks more natural. I can start like animating this as well, like hand. So from now on, as you see, it's more about just keep adding details. Okay. So what I need from you to show me after the break. After the break, I want you to show me this, basically. no rendering, no anything. I want .3D layouts for week 8. Week 8, I have to see 3D layouts. So what are them? They are it's basically it's Maya scene. Yeah, scene plus camera plus animated rig. What you will do, this is how you do. You just make sure the texture is on. You just make sure that we see nothing except polygons and image plane. Which one is image plane? Okay. So I see, so even like, I don't need you to, let me just deselect everything. I don't need you to be worried about compositing, because this is going to get rendered. Then in compositing, we're going to cut out this part and push the master behind these walls, right? So what you will do is this. You just prepare this. So just imagine that it's only, so I keep animating for the rest of it. So the monster comes and passes, goes behind those trees, right? So then like just keep animating it properly with all the details and everything. Actually, for this monster, I should, if I bring curves, I should animate the head and like one of these leaves and all those beautiful details that you just remember. Once done, right click here, go to the play blast, go to the options of the play blast, which is this little box, and save it as I don't see QuickTime here. The reason is I shouldn't. An alternative 3 point. Yeah, that's the one. You guys need to install this. I have it, I believe. I'm gonna copy that for you in your class material folder. Give me a second. AUT software. Good. Yes, I do have it. This is very, very, very important, and it is installed at uni. So what I do, I just make sure that you have it first. So as you know, in your class material, you got mgear and studio library. I'm going to talk about studio library. And I call it QuickTime alternative. And you just install this on your own computer. Install it just now. You don't need Media Player Classic. If you like, you can install it. I don't use that one, and I don't want QuickTime ActiveX plugin. So I just want the base components of it. Yep. No MP3. Yes. So what would happen is I'm gonna save. This one's gonna close that. Save it. I'm gonna save that as well. Open Maya again. The last tool that I want you to use is this studio library. It's very, very helpful, especially for those of you who have multiple like kind of detailed character animation. Let me just check Play Blast options here. Yes, you see that Qt is added here. So I'm gonna open what we were working on. Shot 1 version 1. I can save it as version 2 now if I need. So what you show me next after the break, you just go to the Play Blast, you just select them Qt and then H264 here, or H264, quality 70, scale 1, save it, save file. You save the file into your movies folder and you call it, this is shot 1, right? Play Blast. So it goes through the entire sequence and generates a movie, right? So you have your timeline already in DaVinci. So, and your timeline has a shot. So actually shot numbering on it. What you do, you just move the shot number up one. Actually, I'm gonna add another video. You see that this is what it gives me, like a Play Blast. This is a preview of, and that animation was so crude. You need a much better animation. How can I extend this? Oh yeah, it's here. Sorry. I'm gonna move this up one, and then you just go grab what has been rendered here. See that shot 1 move, plus chuck it back to your timeline. As you realize, it was shorter than. So now what you see, just readjust it like kind of, I'm gonna zoom in so it just kind of fits within the frame again. So you show me this, all your shots animated with the character in it, no rendering. So no compositing, no rendering, just rigged character within your shots. So you see that the tracking is there, the rig is there, and the animating is there. So it's basically 3 tasks: tracking, rigging, and animating. Okay, let's get back to our animating. So that was your assignment for the next semester. So after the not next semester, for after the break. So let me just I will post an announcement for you here. Okay, so let's get back to animating. Give me 5 seconds or 10 seconds. I'll be back. So I just needed my water bottle. Okay. So, by the way, for those of you who use motion capture, so some of you might are thinking of recording motion capture and applying. MGear, as you have realized, has a motion capture component, which is here, mocap, and import your mocap skeletal biped and characterize it, and then bake it to your rig. To get more information, just look at Miguel's channel, MGear framework. And over there are plenty of information, including the mocap. One of them is, yeah. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the last component that I would like you to know about, and that is, so let's go to the perspective, and that is something called Studio Library. So I have copied Studio Library in your file sections. So this is a free, fantastic, must-have plugin for Maya Studio Library. Just unzip it, and this is how you install it. So I think I have it here. Just unzip it, and then you just drag and drop this install.ml into Maya. So make sure that you are on animation tab before drag and drop it. Is it working for me? Yeah. So you see that I already have dragged and dropped it here, and it's added there in my animation tab. It has this little nice white and blue. It's empty at the beginning. It's basically stores your poses and animations. So look at like this animation that I have created, right? So you probably say, hey, like my colleague, hey, I don't know, like friends, do you want to share my animation to you? So like for this, so you can, you know, first of all, make sure you all use, so here I'm using a folder called, so for the first time that you install it, it asks you for a folder. I just gave it a test folder, but I'm gonna switch it into my project folder, which is here, here. So there's a data here. I'm create a studio library inside my data, and I store all my kind of poses and everything here. So then if they have a studio library, you can nicely pass on your animations and poses and everything to them. Just like, let's create a folder. Let's call it animations. And here, first of all, you should select a bunch of stuff. I'm going to select all. And then here, I would go to the plus and say animation. And here, I make sure that I zoom in and have a nice view of the window and click here. It creates a preview for me, and I call it walk cycle. This is not a walk cycle, sorry, but just called it walk cycle. And you can have a comment and everything and save it. So it saves it on your disk, actually. If you see in my data studio library, I have inside animation folder, I have a walk cycle animation that has a Maya scene and thumbnails and everything. It's so advanced. It's so nice. So if I even like, I can repeat my animation. I can select, like, even if I not select everything. So I can just right click on this animation and new select contents, and then you can apply the animation again. Actually, let me just go to another Maya scene. I usually create animations and hand animations, but if you have finger animations, that is like very, very, very handy because it's repetitive. You can create poses as well. Poses. I'm gonna save it as inside animating shot 2 version 1. So this is shot 2. I reference my character, the rig tree character, and I go to my, I don't know why this skips. Go to my studio library. Oh. Why the studio library is not, okay. It's, it should have been by default on this. Yeah, you see that my animation is there. So if I just, like, without anything, if I just double click on it, bang, suddenly, so the next person, so just imagine that what I did now, what is the next person? They just say, hey, I have already animated like my creature running, okay? So you can use my animation. So you just like share these files to each other, share these study animations, and then they just drag and drop and I'll double click and then they get it. It's very, very handy and useful. You can do save poses as well. For example, let's animate these leaves, right? I'm gonna press, so oh, what I've done. I'm going to the X-ray and I'm gonna select, let me turn off the object selection, and then that's a lot of things. So better to do it manually. Okay, this is, if you remember, I told you there's a way to save your selection, you know, like there's a very, so in animating, sometimes you have like these like complex selections. So I select all of these individually, like one by one. That's a lot of selection. Not this person, like that's a lot of selection one by one. If you want to do like a nice rotation on the you know, FK, it's start from selecting the roots and then like go towards the end of it. So now you can see that I have this kind of nice, if I go to the word. Would that, yeah, like, you know, I can do like a little bit of these movements, which is nice, or like kind of these movements. But you want this selection to be saved. Let me make another folder, and I call it selections. So this, no, not here. Edit, move the trash. Yes, actually, here. Selections. So, and then things that I have selected, you see that you have this selection set, and you can, I can zoom in. So if I snap click, it takes a snapshot, and I call this all the leaves, and save it. So if I click outside, next time, if I double click on this, it automatically selects that for me. So you see that it's very useful, and it's transferable. Again, the more I emphasize that it's so important, it's so useful. So you can transfer it to the next person. So now I can use this to animate something. But you know, like if you remember, I removed the animation from there. However, I just want to show you some stuff. Maybe I just want to create a pose. Like, what about this? Picture goes, if every now and then you just want to like go head high up and high down. So you want this neck to have like a special movement, like you want this to go down and then down again and then down again. So this is like a complicated movements. So let's call this pose as head down. Let's zoom in here and then go to the plus and then add a pose and then click take a snapshot and I call it head down. And then you do the reverse of it, which is this, go up and then up and then up. And so that that's a little bit stupid, but just to give you a, so that's another pose, and I call it, so, oh, sorry, I just repeated. Okay, I would go up and up and up. Select those three and then go to the pose and then we call it head up. And then I save it. So this is head down. Apply, head down. Why it just, they're the same. I think the reason is this is an animating thing, so it doesn't carry the keyframes, and it already has a keyframe. So I just work on a non-animated version. So here I'm gonna create some poses. So you see that that head up and head down is saved here because it's very interesting that things are shared between. So I'm gonna remove them. Remove this one as well. Okay. So I select these three. I move them up. Maybe down. add a pose while the three of them are selected. Add a pose in this zoomed way, call it head down, save it, go up, and while the three are selected, take another pose and take a snapshot. The head is up, and I call it head up, save it. Select, oh yeah, because these are not selected. It needs the neck. Is the other neck? Is the head? Oh God. Okay, three of them are selected. And then save. Head up, down. Okay, now you can see it. Down, up, down, up. So that's a complicated kind of pose, let's say. But you can save lots of different poses, different selection sets, and pass it on to your friend who are animating. Kind of share your activity together, which is very, very helpful. Fantastic. Let me just check my notes if I have missed any other points. Here we are. So that's it. You have to. So we talked about all the animation tools, including. So you have a very useful rigging tool, which is called mGear, and mGear has a synoptic. mGear synoptic is your friend when you are animating, which is this little picker here. You can select things, you can select parts, you can, because, you know, to be honest, this is complicated and complex, but this is more clear and understanding. And that's your first friend. And second is this studio library. Studio library. And don't forget, always like have movie references. To be honest, I always just record myself, because when I do it, I have a better feeling of it. And I have experienced the action, the movement from inside out. But there are plenty of YouTube videos as well, so you can select them and bring them into your scene. Any questions? I'm gonna stop recording.